Hey YouTube, sorry about the noise. Hey Deggy. He's making a noise. So this is a guitar I got in China when I was over there in December. It's a George Harrison style rosewood Telecaster. You may have seen I did another video of it when I was in China. See, it's got like a cool stripe down the middle of it. Obviously it says that in the headstock, but it's not. Yeah, so I bought this thinking that I'll be able to sell this to some sort of Beatles fan, because obviously George played one of these in Let It Be in the film, and it's, let's be honest, it's totally cool having a rosewood telly. I recently looked it up on YouTube and it showed you them making the tribute version of it, you know, as in a custom shop, whatever it is. It was like £15,000 or something like that, but I mean it was made of a pretty nice looking wood, actually similar to my Washburn Falcon, which isn't on the wall just now. I don't think this is rosewood, I think it's maple, because I think that that stripe there is basically, it's all the one piece of wood, or you know, a couple of pieces of wood stuck together. You can't actually see the stains that good. You can't actually see whether it's made of one piece of wood or not. This is the strap that came with it, so it might fall off. But yeah, so who's talking about a proper telly? It says something on the back of the headstock, the back plate. But I bought this is from the same factory as my white telly. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos. Before I went to China, I was doing videos of my white telly, which I absolutely love. It was a little bit more modern than this, like sort of binding on the front, and it was sort of perloid binding. It also had a cutaway here. But apart from that, it was just a box, just a Telecaster, but really good. So I figured I'm going to go back to that factory. So I did. Bought this one. Wasn't quite such smooth sailing with this. This actually cost twice as much as a white one. So this is kind of, I finally got it working, but it took a while. I got a sort of bad experience with this one. Some of the frets were high when I got it. You couldn't play it. So when I was in China, I filed it down with I believe they are actually called bastard files, to file it down so you could at least play it. But obviously I needed to do a lot of fret dressing when I came home to make it work. So I finally got round to that. The plan was I was just going to punt this almost immediately, but so I finally got round to doing the fret working, and so last week or 2 weeks ago, had it all working. So I was sitting there going, yep, playing good now, good stuff, and it went dung 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 dung. You couldn't hear the high E string at all. It sounded alright when you were playing it unplugged, but as soon as I dug it into the amp, it just didn't. There was no sound coming from the high E. I was like, what the hell? Cause I had to move the bridge, because I put the bridge in the wrong place. It was at a funny angle, so I sort of that, filled the holes, moved it round, It's just all the work I had to do on this guitar. So they're not always amazing when you get them out the box. You know, if you're going to buy one from AliExpress, be careful. If you know if you can mess about with it, then that's fine. But if you're scared to do any of the work yourself, then you might not get a good guitar. Yeah, so the high E wasn't working. I was sitting there thinking, how the hell's that? And the thing was, it wasn't just like, I thought maybe the pole pieces hadn't lined up, but they looked okay. And the thing was, it wasn't working on either the neck pickup or the bridge pickup, so I kind of thinking it wasn't that. So actually the other day I was away buying I picked up a hard case that was for sale in local ads, and asked if the guy had any other guitar stuff lying about, so I bought a couple of Telecaster pickups. And I was thinking, right, I'll be able to sort that, so I'll just stick them in this. So when I was taking the strings off, the high E snapped. And then I was looking at it thinking, hold on, these strings, when I came back from China, I managed to get 2 guitars back with me. I would have been more if I hadn't bought this one, because it weighs a ton. This weighs twice what I bought a couple of Canvas. They were sort of like a Les Paul that didn't have a cutaway. They're totally amazing guitars, absolutely fantastic. But when I went to get on the plane on the way back, my bag was overweight, and it was like, oh, can I just pay the extra? No. So I had to take these things. Luckily my girlfriend had gone to the toilet actually managed to intercept her on the way back, so at least I didn't have to put the stuff in the bin. So I had to lose one of those guitars and a couple of extra necks I had, just to try and get the weight down. I think the guy actually let me away with 25.8 kilograms when it was only 25 you were meant to have. But this is a heavy guitar, so if you're going to import these yourself and you're smuggling them in your luggage, don't buy heavy guitars, buy lightweight ones. Because I would if this had just been like a normal telly weight, I would probably have got away with the other guitar. Yeah, so it's heavy, but you're talking heavy, you know, Les Paul. It's not as heavy as a Les Paul, but well, maybe it is. It's not as heavy as some of the Washburns I've got, but it's definitely significantly heavier than a normal Telecaster. I think that would run into it being either rosewood or maple, because maple's heavier and so is rosewood than ash, what they normally make these guitars out of. But as I said, I don't think this is rosewood. It might be. I don't know. It doesn't have that the crazy grain. If you look at George Harrison's one, it's got mental grain on it. This doesn't. You can't really see any grain through this. Well, there is grain there, but as I said, I think it's just maple. And the neck as well. I've also got a rosewood fingerboard. I think the neck. One of the things I was actually disappointed with when I got it, the picture that it had on the website that I bought it from the factory, had the light, the skunk stripe was light maple. Was this colour? And I thought, oh, it looked really cool, but this one doesn't. It does have a skunk stripe, but it's made of rosewood, or it's a black skunk stripe on a maple neck. So that was why I was thinking that the guitar was maple, because the neck I think is maple as well. This one came, because it was more expensive, had Clausen style tuners on it, which are better than the standard ones. Yeah. So anyway, rewind back a bit. High E string, so it snapped, and I thought when I came back the first time, I only had one set of new strings sitting here to put on it. So this one, I put it back together again. I just tightened up the strings that it came with, and the strings you get with these guitars are pish by any standards. I don't even think they probably cost 50p a packet or something like that. And going even more than that, those are really bad strings. Even more than that, though, when I was working on this when I was in China, I snapped the high E string. And I found high E string in my girlfriend's gig bag. She didn't know where it came from, so this was just a high E string. It's still new in its packet, but I mean, so that was what the high E string that was on this came from. It could have been 10 years old, don't know, but for whatever reason it didn't work. So basically, when I put the new strings on it, I was like, yes, it worked. So bingo. So I was in there, so I fixed the electrics, and then I could kind of just set it up a bit. I've done the fret job. Adjusted everything, so now it's playing really good. Actually feels very like my white one. It's just that as a wee warning there, it's like I don't know how good the consistency is with these guitars from the factory. I think if you can spend some time sorting out the problems they've got, they might not all have them. That white one I had, in fact, I actually bought another white one after that. My girlfriend brought one over. She bought with the same. It's the same exact guitar, so I wouldn't be able to keep it. So there's no point in having two exactly the same. But it was pretty much exactly the same as my original one. This one needed a bit of work done to it. Just a warning. You see an awful lot of people dissing the Chinese, the chelecasters. Just saying, oh, they're pure shit. It's like, well, it might be. The one you get might not be very good, but if you can work on it, what you end up with is a good one after a setup. Obviously, if you're paying not very much money for them, they don't have time to spend to get somebody who knows how to build a guitar to make it. I'm not sure that anybody at the factory making these plays the guitar. It's one of those things where you're just producing something to a drawing or whatever. The rhythm pickup selector switch is backwards on all the ones from that factory for some reason. So if you put there, it's the bridge pickup, and there's the neck pickup, and that must just be somebody's just following a diagram. They're not. It worked, but it was the wrong way around, so that was annoying. Also, you couldn't just turn the switch around. I tried that, and the cable wasn't quite long enough, so I had to extend one of the wires to make the switch reach between the two. To make some noise. So bridge pick. This is got the Telecaster ashtray style bridge on it. 2-strum, which I prefer. This is my favourite type. And I like these saddles as well. The ones you get, the individual saddles, generally, I don't think I've got one sitting about that's got them on it, but they're kind of like an L shape almost there, and I just don't think they're as good as solid. So I'll just play through my wee Laney VC15. Both pickups. I just love Telecasters. I think, although I do obviously love my Japanese guitars. Recently I've been doing, see there, I've got a Buckfaster caster, which I got into trouble for trying to sell too many guitars on the local Facebook page. So I haven't actually put that one up for sale, even though it's for sale. So nobody's bought it because it's not been advertised. So if you want that, it's there. Actually, I was looking at the guy who complained on the Facebook page. I noticed the other day he'd put up a guitar, and it was a P bass, like a Squire P bass that he wanted 100 quid for that nobody's bought, and I think that might be why he was pissed off, because obviously I've sold a couple of Squire P basses, but they were painted like a bottle of Bucky, and they had extra pickups and stuff put in them for the same price. So he's obviously, it's not fair that I can make guitars or put together guitars that are selling quicker than what he's trying to sell. That's just been a wee bit cynical, but yeah. So this I haven't done it yet. There's still got the plastic on the scratch plate, so this should be shiny, not matte. I need to peel that off. So I'll make some noise. Wow, 11 minutes. I've not even got to play the guitar yet. I'm going to go for some distortion though. Oh, we've got distortion on. That was the clone was on, so this is clean. So go for fuzz? Yeah, fuzz pedal. What I do notice here is the white telly I've got, that I mentioned before. It's got one of the the neck plate is kind of crescent moon shaped here, so it's a wee bit more rounded, which I never noticed when I got it. Obviously I noticed it was there, but I didn't think it made any difference. But as soon as you go back to a normal telly, suddenly you go, oh, hold on, I keep feeling this point here in the back of my hand, so it does make it easier. Not so much when you go on to having the the sort of high access, if you call it that, the contoured neck join. It doesn't, although you don't notice it when you go onto it, you notice it when you go back to one that doesn't have it. Also, this one doesn't have the other one I've got's got a belly cut here, which I quite like anyway, because it makes it a bit more, telly's like a slab, it's like kind of the way it's meant to be. Slow pickups. Neck pickup. That's my attempt to get back. About that before. I actually used to play Get Back in a Band playing guitar years ago, probably 20 years ago. I could never play that bit. God knows what I was playing. I'm pretty sure I played lead all the time, but there you go. Yeah, so talking about the pickups in this. Talking about the pickups and not pulling out the lead when I'm doing it. The straps you get free with a guitar really are always crap. Yep, so I need to re-strap it. This is at its full extension as well, but really thin crap. Ideally I would have the guitar slightly lower, but it's not too bad with a telly. Yeah, so the pickups in my white one were really good. I was always impressed with them, and I think these are exactly the same ones. Obviously I was a wee bit down on it last week when I thought there was something wrong with it when I was only picking up 5 of the strings, but that was the strings, not the pickups. So when you're in the middle position, it's hum cancelling, and if you know me, that's a wee bell goes off, and it goes oh. So what I've done is I did my favourite telly mod for one when you've got that, which is so you've got. I'll change it onto the rat pedal, which is what I normally use. The first pedal's a little bit too much. So, pitch pickup. Both pickups on. Neck pickup. So I've put a push pull on the tone control, which bypasses the 3-way switch and puts both of these into series, so you get like a humbucker made up of the two of them. So that's the two of them, the two pickups on in parallel mode, which is normal. Sorry, that's the two pickups in parallel, which is normal. And then put them in series. But that's one of these things if you don't want to mess with your guitar, which I didn't really want to mess with this, putting switches and stuff in it. If you didn't know that was there, the push-pull pot, normal telly, no problem. So just when you pull it out, you get an extra force sound, which I do like. So it's a mod I would recommend basically. And if you've got a telly and you don't want to mess it up, then that's how you deal with that. What I will say is that to do that, this is a pretty standard 5-way connector switch, right? No, a 3-way. Okay, well that's a 5-way, but a 3-way one looks pretty much the same as that. Bad example. I couldn't do it with that switch. Right, so forget about that. But normally you've got like on a 3-way switch is normally you've got like 3. It's almost like having 2 switches at the same time. So you get 3 contacts on either side, and then you've got 2 in the middle. And on a standard 3-way switch, the 2 in the middle are joined together. So what you have to do is you have to hacksaw through physically through the circuit board and the switch to break the contact between the middle two, so that you can wire it like this. Yeah, I need to stop standing in the lead. I think that's the reason why the lead's on the bottom of a Telecaster, so when you stand on it, doesn't break the guitar, it just pulls the lead out. Yeah, so if you've got a telly, I can mod it to give you that extra sound, which I think it's a win-win really, because you don't lose the original sound. I spent ages trying to work out a way of wiring the white telly, so that instead of neck pickup, you got the humbucker sound. Because I love the bridge pickup sound in the telly. Who wouldn't? And then the middle sounds brilliant as well. And the neck is just kind of like not as well. I kind of warmed it a wee bit now, but it's just not as good. So it would have been nice if I could have worked out some way to make it so that you only had 3 sounds, and instead of having the neck pickup, you got the 2 of them in a humbucker. But that can't be done unless you buy a fancy switch. I was trying to do it with the original switch. So we'll be going back to my white telly and putting the push-pull pot in to get the humbucker sounds. I have to say that I'm not one for tone wood being a thing in the electric guitar, but I don't know if mass maybe has something to do with this. This does sound like a heavier guitar. Does that make sense? Seems to be. I've got a couple of maple guitars. I've got a a yellow West Tone Concord. It's maple. In fact, I think quite a lot of West Tones are maple, and it's kind of got that sound to it somewhere. It's dead hard to articulate what I mean by that. It doesn't. It's not like a light. It's a sort of sound. If that makes sense. It doesn't sound as light and airy as the white one. So yeah, that was in conclusion, we'll go for a 25-minute video this time. Yeah, why not? So, I mean, this absolutely blows the pants off a Modern Squire. Sorry if you've got a Modern Squire. Think more Fender than Squire for something like this. Now I've sorted it out. The white one I got, it was fine. Both the white ones I got were fine from the same factory, and it's a very similar feeling guitar, so it's kind of the same thing, just that this one had problems, and I just don't think they've got the same quality control or whoever it is that fixes them. You know, if you make the guitar, it might work, that's fine, maybe 90% of them work fine, and then you get ones that have got slight problems, you know, with the frets not quite being level, and the fact the bridge was at a funny angle, which although I don't imagine really affected anything, it did look annoying because that line there wasn't parallel with the edge of the scratch plate. It just looked soon as it stuck out like a sore thumb as soon as I saw it. So yes, I would buy. I'm not sure how you get on with your CITES thing, although I did hear they're actually going to change the CITES thing so it doesn't affect musical instruments. You know, that's the thing that means you're not allowed to make rosewood an endangered species. That was more for people making rosewood for China, basically making rosewood furniture, which obviously uses an awful lot more than a fretboard. So this one does have a rosewood fretboard, although we're still thinking it might not have. I still think it's a maple body. And I do not have a link for this on the AliExpress or whatever, although I'm pretty sure that the factory I got this from does have an AliExpress shop. I think these come in about 250 quid if you're buying it in, and if you get a good one, it's totally worth it. Or if you're willing to do a wee bit of work yourself, if things aren't quite right, then it's well better than a £250 Squire. But you might not get that, and I do have a little bit of the cynical side in me again. I got, in fact it's sitting right, it's hanging right here. I got this zebra wood Strat sent directly here from China, you know, on one of your AliExpress things, and the neck was fucked on it, so I had to get another neck. But I think when I was in China, ordering them from, you know, to get them sent to my girlfriend's house, they maybe gave me better ones than what you would send if they were sending it to the UK direct, because they knew I was just going to send it back if it was shit. In fact, I bought a Les Paul Custom, which had one single coil pickup. It looked pure amazing, and I just had to send it back because the neck was on it like that. You know, this bit here was not square, and because it was a set neck, there was nothing I could do with it. My thinking of buying Telecasters was always the thought that, as has happened with this, the bridge was in slightly the wrong place, dead easy to move, it's just flat, sitting surface mounted in the guitar. All you do is unscrew the things, fill the holes and screw it in where you want it, done. Whereas if you've got like a Les Paul bridge and it's in the wrong place, you can't, you know, because obviously this is a big metal plate, so I mean you can't see the fact that the holes have been filled and moved because it's all been hidden beneath the plate. Whereas if you've got like a Tune-o-matic bridge, that's not really an option. And also because the neck was at a funny angle, you think, well, you can't take it off and move it. Whereas if this one had been, you can put another neck on it, take the neck off, shim it, carve it, you know, make it fit, make it work. Because a Tele is just the ultimate pure bolt together guitar, and you can always fix all the bits that don't work. Especially it's the same with the volume control, you know, with the electrics as well. You know, it's just a metal plate and with bits stuck to it, so you can just, everything's just interchangeable. But and I would say that the tuners in this one are slightly better because it was a bit more expensive. The sort of the fake Chinese Clausen style are better than the fake Chinese normal style. So you just, you know, sort of sealed units. They are definitely the weak points of the guitars, the Chinese Telecasters I've got. So it's kind of eliminated. I wouldn't bother. I'm not going to bother changing them. I haven't changed them in the other ones because, to be honest, they don't make any difference to the sound. And when you're changing strings, it's not as nice because they're a wee bit crunchy. You know, when you're having to wind them all down to change the strings, but they don't go out of tune and they tune up all right. They're just maybe not. They don't feel as nice, but then it still stays in tune. And I've still yet to come across a guitar where the tuners slip. You get enough of people. Oh, you just get locking tuners because tuners slip. Tuners don't slip. They've never slipped. They slip if you don't wrap the string around the post enough, and they slip if they're broken. You know, when you're turning it and it kind of goes and then doesn't do anything for a bit. Yeah, that's a broken tuner. Yeah, totally. You can't have a broken one. That might slip your tuning. But if they don't actually, if they're not broken, they don't slip. It's like if you've got tuning issues, it's because of your nut, or it's because of something here, or it's something else. It's not because your tuners are broken. At least that's my 2 cents worth anyway. Okay, half an hour, rock and roll.